Hello, today is Thursday, the 21st of April, 2020. My name is Ryan Sanchez and I'm interviewing Alexander Valdez for the South Texas Archives at Texas A&M University Kingsville. This is part of the Voces of a Pandemic Oral History Project in partnership with the Voces Oral History Center at the University of Texas at Austin. Please know, Mr. Valdez, that this recorded interview will be placed in the South Texas Archives at Texas A&M University Kingsville and shared with the Voces Oral History Center at the University of Texas at Austin. If there's anything you do not wish to answer or talk about, especially given that your recording may appear online, I will honor your wishes. Also, if there is something you would like to talk about, please bring it up and we'll talk about it. Because we are not conducting this interview in person, I need to record you consenting. So I'll ask you a series of 6 questions. Please say, yes, I agree, or no, I do not agree after each one. There are 4 questions we need to make sure you agree to before we go on. Okay, South Texas Archives at Texas A&M University Kingsville wishes to archive your interview along with any other photographs and other documentation at the South Texas Archives at Texas A&M University Kingsville. We will retain copyright of the interview and any other materials you donate to the South Texas Archives at Texas A&M University Kingsville. Do you give us consent to archive your interview and your materials at the Jurgen Library at Texas A&M University Kingsville?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you grant South Texas Archives at the Jurgen Library at Texas A&M University Kingsville copyright over the interview and any material you provide?
Yeah.
Do you agree to allow South Texas Archives at the Jurgen Library A&M University Kingsville to post this interview on the internet where it may be viewed by people around the world?
It'll look great on your resume.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you grant South Texas Archives at the Jurgen Library at Texas A&M University Kingsville consent to share your interview and your materials with the Voces Oral History Center at the University of Texas at Austin for inclusion in the Voces of a Pandemic Oral History Project, which we will include posting the interview on the internet?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. Let me see.
My room, you can't shatter.
We have many questions in the pre-interview form that we already filled out. We use that information from the pre-interview form to help in research. The entire form is kept in a secure Voces server at the University of Texas at Austin. The final storing of the pre-interview form will be at the South Texas Archives at the Jurgen Library at Texas A&M University Kingsville. So we will have stripped out any contact information for yourself or family members. So that will not be a part of your public file. Your public file will only be accessible at the Jurgen Library. Do you wish for us to share the rest of your interview in your public file available to researchers at the South Texas Archives at the Jurgen Library at Texas A&M University Kingsville?
Yeah.
On occasion, VOSA receives requests from journalists who wish to contact our interview subjects. We only deal with legitimate news outlets. Do you give consent for us to share your phone numbers or your email with journalists?
No.
Okay. All right, so let's get started with the actual interview. So tell me about yourself.
So I'm Alexander, and I am currently a sophomore at the University of Texas at Austin. I am majoring in biochemistry, minoring in business, and getting a certificate in elements of computing at the moment.
What are you going to do with all that?
At the moment, possibly attend dental school, but I'm also looking into other possible job opportunities in business and most likely computer science as backup.
Oh, is computer science challenging to you?
I've only taken one course so far, which I liked, and I'm hoping that it'll continue being interesting as I go on with the certificate.
Oh, interesting. Okay, so tell me a little bit about your experience with COVID.
Yeah, so when it hit, it just mostly, I would say the mental health got worsened a bit, especially like being housed, being at home for like not being able to go to college. So I was just at home for like all of my freshman year and the summer. So that kind of sucked, especially like losing some of the major events in high school, like prom, losing out on like UIL events, which I was really prepared for. So that sucked. Thankfully, no major events caused by the pandemic, like death in the family. The main thing was just staying at home for the freshman year of college.
Yeah, I think I remember you talking about that a while ago, but how did you learn about COVID?
So I found out about it like through the news when it first started popping up in China. And I didn't think it was a big deal at the time. I was like, oh, okay, it'll probably go away. But no, it started getting worse. And then spring break came and they had to extend it because of that. And that's
It just like
how-
got progressively longer.
yes.
Yeah. Let me see. So your reaction to COVID, you already discussed that, but do you have any other reactions beside it not being a big deal? Like as it progressed on?
It just got tiring at some point. Just got like, no, just tiring, exhausted. I'm glad that I'm able to like attend on campus for the attend classes on campus. I feel like that's helped a lot, but yeah.
Aside from school and your mental health, has it impacted you in any other way?
No, I don't think, I wouldn't say so, not really.
Has it impacted your family members, like your parents, your siblings?
No, thankfully, like we haven't contracted COVID at all yet, so we have like a couple of like close calls where we thought we might have had it, but no.
Do you talk to your neighbors?
Not really, no.
So you wouldn't know if they were impacted by COVID?
Yeah, we wouldn't. Mm-mm.
Okay. Let me see. Did you keep in touch with your peers during lockdown?
Yes, a couple of friends from high school.
How did you do that?
At first we like met up a couple times to play online games. But the main course like just to text, Discord or Snapchat, stuff like that.
Did you do any specific activities together that require like internet or like any non-physical interactions?
Yes. Yeah, so like one of the games that we played, I forgot what the name was called, but it was basically kind of like a Pictionary, I believe, but it was like an online version of that.
I think it was Scribblio. I do remember playing that with you.
Yes.
I think it was called that. I don't remember.
Mm-hmm.
This is so long ago.
It was.
Any other games?
There was another one where you had to draw something and then like you had to write it out like what that drawing was, and then the next person would just draw it and then it would go on like that, online version.
Oh yes. I forget what that one was called too.
Horrible
Let
with
me
names.
see. How is going out in the world during COVID-19 different from pre-COVID?
It was definitely a bit scarier in my opinion. I was like, because of that, I like tried to stay at home most of the time, which didn't help my mental health. But yeah, I tried to stay at home as much as I could, not going out unless I really had to. But otherwise, yeah, I would make sure like I would have a mask on. I would get like make sure my mom would always have hand sanitizer, in which we would always like get some afterwards after like we got out of like a store or something like that if we had to. Yeah.
Do you still take those items with you even during these days?
Yes, just as an extra precaution. I'm already vaccinated, so if I do get it, hopefully I won't get it like a severe case. But yes, I continue wearing masks and I continue bringing hand sanitizer with me.
So you got the vaccine. How was your experience with it?
Oh, it was fine. It was just like a regular, like any of the other vaccines, like the flu shot. I'm pretty sure it's gonna end up similar to the flu, where you would have to get continue with the vaccination, and so I'd be fine with that. Extra protection.
Did you get any like side effects with the vaccine?
Just the common ones, like the first dose. I didn't really have any side effects. Maybe like a sore arm. But the second dose did hit me a little bit more. I was like exhausted for like the next 2 days, I believe. But afterwards, I was like feeling fine.
Mm. And did you have any problems or like anything else that you experienced with scheduling your vaccine?
Not really. I just used like the online. I think I got it at. No, my mom scheduled like went to get the vaccine at like a clinic back in the valley, and so it was pretty easy to get it from there
Okay, awesome.
once it became available to like my age group.
Mhm. Did any of your family members have different experiences with the vaccine?
No, we all got it as soon as it became available to us, especially my dad, since he's like the most vulnerable to COVID, which is getting a severe case. So we all got it as soon as possible, even my siblings, my young ones.
Has COVID impacted any organizations you were a part of?
Well, actually, Zach, Matt Mercer.
Just besides the canceling of like events that in high school, I wasn't really part of any organizations freshman year, as I thought like it wouldn't be as good of an experience online. So yeah.
And you did mention UIL. What events were you gonna do prior to COVID?
So I was gonna do UIL spelling. That was the main. I think that was the only one I was gonna do that time, and I studied as much as I could. And before it got canceled, I believe that I would have placed in the top 3 at state.
I think you would have placed too.
Mhm.
You're a smart guy. Let me see. How, if at all, has COVID impacted your ability to gather with family and friends for important events?
So my family doesn't really go out often, so we were like, if anything, able to like spend more time with each other since we were always at home. No school. I mean, besides like online, but like we were always at home for the most part. But meeting with other family members like cousins, grandparents and stuff like that, we tried not to, just to like prevent like if we did have it, we wouldn't like spread it to them, or like especially our grandparents. We didn't want to get them sick or yeah.
Were the experiences different from pre-COVID? Like, did you do anything different during these family gatherings?
Yeah.
Yes, just a little bit. Like we would make sure to wear masks when we're there, and then like what if we're eating, we would like just take them off as normal. But not that much in terms of family events, because like we for the most part trusted each other, that we were like, yeah, we had very similar ideals. So like yeah.
Okay, so you were all concerned with each other's health.
Mhm.
Okay, let me see. How did you feel about the mask mandate?
Oh, I thought it was fine. Honestly, I wish it would have gone longer, just so that we probably wouldn't be just so that the number of cases in COVID would have been it would have been handled a lot better if there was like a longer mask mandate. I was fine with it.
So you had no conflictions with it?
No, I mean, it's just a mask in my opinion. It doesn't like bother me at all. Especially I continue wearing it right now, and I've been wearing it for like long periods of time since I'm in a research lab and I had to in the research lab for most of the time. And so I had to keep it on for like most of the day, and it doesn't really bother me at all.
And how do you feel about those who are opposed to wearing masks or getting their vaccines?
I know it's like a controversial topic at the moment. I feel like it's a mask. It shouldn't be controversial. Doctors have to wear it for longer periods of time than most of the other people. Same thing with vaccinations. Most of it starts off from like false rumors, and I feel like they should do more research to like learn, educate themselves.
Do you know about any of these controversies?
Just that the mask wearing mask mandates specifically are like an infringement of our freedoms, which I feel like isn't really the case. And then also that vaccinations tend to do more harm than good.
I think they're more concerned about side effects, if anything,
Yeah.
but
Mhm.
it's really just like you getting used to the vaccine.
Yeah.
Let me see. So COVID did affect your education and how you received it. Could
Mhm.
you specify how it did so?
So for like the second semester of my senior year of high school, we just transferred all of our courses online, which was fine. It was just like a slightly rough transition at first, but besides that, nothing major. And then for college, a freshman year, everything was also online and through Zoom. And then after some point, it was like Zoom fatigue, being tired, just like having to get on Zoom with like it's not as I don't feel it's as good as an experience as in person. And then it could also like it's just tiring just being in front of a screen just to watch a class going on. Personally, it didn't really affect me like grade wise, thankfully. Uh, but I know others who have struggled because of the format.
Mhm. Did this formatting affect your siblings as well?
Yes, I feel like it negatively impacted them just because um they have like my brother has issues has a learning disability, so it didn't really help that much. I had to help him with his courses most of the time just so that he would understand the content. Same thing with my sister slightly, but my mom helped her out most of the time.
Mhm. Um, how, if at all, have schools helped your community during COVID?
Oh, can you repeat that?
I'm sorry. Let me read it again. How, if at all, have schools helped your community during COVID?
My community?
Zach, what would be funny?
Yes, like
Okay.
your
Oh,
siblings or
so
family members.
yeah. So in terms of like high school, I believe yes. In high school, we would have parents of like sign. Well, I forgot what it was called, but they would choose like one of the seniors to give like a gift basket for a couple of weeks, just to like saying like, hey, you got this, you can push through. It's almost like the end of the high school, you got this. So I thought that was a really cool thing that they did. I like that. And then in terms of college, I don't think there was really much uh, that they helped my family with. Yeah.
Did you feel like you got stunted education-wise during high school?
The table set up.
No, I
Yeah.
don't think so. Um,
Yeah, we'll put him as that.
in that time, I registered for like many
Yeah,
AP
so
courses. But if the time being at home caused by the pandemic helped me allowed me to study a lot more and be prepared for the AP exams, which the format also changed, uh, which kind of helped me because there wasn't multiple choice, and I'm a horrible time management for test taking.
Hmm, I understand that. So I know that you were in band. So did COVID affect your willingness to play an instrument?
Uh, yes. Normally, I would like practice a lot in the band hall, but like we would all have the opportunity to like get new music, and then after because of the pandemic, we weren't able to go to the
I deflected this.
to go to the band hall. Obviously, I also left my instrument there over spring break, thinking that we would be able to come back after spring break, but I wasn't able to until like the end of the semester, where I was able to pick it up finally. And then also the lack of like getting new music, I wasn't able to like. I lost interest for a bit playing my instrument.
You didn't find any new music online or anything? Any
No, I
through
didn't
peers
feel
or
like it
anything?
was. I didn't feel like that. I don't know. I'd rather have like music that the band directors would give because I feel like it's better. Or I don't know. But yeah.
It comes from like
And
a trusted source, I guess.
yes, and also because most of the sheet music is behind the paywall. So
Oh yeah, that's true.
yeah. Mhm.
Did COVID impact how you registered for college?
Uh, yes. For the most part, I had already applied to college before the pandemic hit, and I already knew where I was gonna go to. The only thing that affected was I had already signed up for housing, on-campus housing, for that fall, but I was like too nervous to go there because I don't want to risk getting like COVID in such like a tight space. So I was thankful that the university allowed students to break their contracts, break their because I had already signed mine. I was thankful that they were allowed students to like break the contract because if we took all online courses, which I did, so that was great.
Okay. Did you notice anything new with your mental health, or did you feel that your progress fell back during COVID?
Yes, I feel like the main aspect that worsened. I mean, there's a lot more to it, but like it was my social anxiety, I guess. Before I was like in high school, like improving like a lot, I'd say, and then over the lack of like social interaction, like face to face, like it caused it to like worsen a lot. Like take steps back from it, from improvements, and then also I also considered like with all the time that I had, like what I wanted to do for my career. I like second guess like if I wanted to pursue a career in medicine. And originally I was gonna attend medical school instead of dental school, but I'm still on the fence on whether I want to do dentistry as well. So yeah.
Did you like consider trying to overcome these hurdles with like therapy or anything else that would help your mental health?
I did a couple of points of time, but I just like wasn't aware of like how I could get those services, but also like money is another thing as well. I didn't want to like
Mhm.
add more pressure to my parents, and I wanted to save as much as I could for college because it's expensive.
Besides your dad, did you have any other family members that are immunocompromised that you were concerned about?
Mm, just like my grandparents, just because like they're old, and so I was really worried if they were gonna get sick. But thankfully they didn't. Besides that, no one else.
And were you, during the pandemic, did your aspect of your own health, what am I trying to say? Um, Man, I'm sorry.
Oh, no, you're good.
Okay, did you become more concerned about your health than before during COVID?
Probably like just a bit. I was already like really concerned with my health all throughout high school, and it just like it can like it I definitely became a little bit more concerned with because of COVID, but like I was already concerned about my health beforehand. So
Could you specify on that, or do you wish
yeah,
not
so
to?
like I'm overweight, and then I also don't have like a good diet. So like I've gotten my blood drawn a couple of times in high school, and so like I had like really high. I've had high blood pressure for a couple of times, not super high, but like on the edge of being like hypertension, and
Mhm.
then also like high blood sugar, high sodium, and stuff like that. So yeah,
Okay. During COVID, did you take up on new hobbies?
just a couple. So like it wouldn't last for long, just for like a little bit. So one of them was like origami a little bit. So I would like do a couple of origami figures. There's also one where you could use post-its to make like kind of like a ball out of an origami ball, but you could also like make it spiky. It was cool. So it was origami. That was one of them. Reading. I picked up reading again. I read a series that I read back in middle school that I really liked and reignited like how much I love the series.
What was the series called?
Percy Jackson.
Oh,
Yeah.
could you tell me about that?
Yeah, so like I read like there's like 3 series under the Percy Jackson like world. The first is like the Lightning Thief series. which is really good. Really recommend it. And the second one, the second series is The Heroes of Olympus, which introduced like another. It expanded the world of it from the first series, which is really I really enjoyed it. It was like a good way to take a break from school and everything. And just like yeah. And there's also a series, like a TV show coming out soon. Like that's where the author is taking like a huge part of it. So I'm really looking forward to that.
Do you have any favorite characters or anything that you like about the book?
Oh yeah, I say like my favorite characters from that series is like I really like Annabeth. Annabeth is like really cool. I like Percy obviously because like the main character, but I really like Annabeth the most.
I see. Okay, moving on. I think we got a little off topic with that, but
Yeah.
I appreciate it. I really
Mhm.
learned about that. Did
Mhm.
COVID affect you getting any job or internship opportunities?
Uh, Not really. I wasn't really I already had in my mind that I was not gonna take any jobs during college just so that I can focus on my grades and getting doing as best as well as I can. In terms of internships, I was planning on trying to find some, but yeah, because of like most of the summer after the freshman year, if I would have done an internship, it would have been like I feel like it wouldn't have been that good as a good of an experience. So I didn't really apply for anything over the summer.
And I do remember you mentioning taking on a mentorship, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Could you
Yes.
specify that?
Yeah. So this semester, well, I was part of the freshman research initiative, starting from my freshman year, in which we were taught the basics of research, the scientific method, and all of that. The second semester, my freshman year, I was put into a research lab. Mine focuses on behavior and neuroscience, and so we just went over like the specifics of that lab and like how we analyze behaviors in fruit flies. And so I continued that until this past fall, and then after that was the end of like the freshman research courses. So after that, we were given the opportunity to apply to become a mentor and help other students learn the basics of the research lab. And so I applied to be a mentor this semester, and thankfully I got it. So I just I'm able to conduct my research. So that's a really cool thing. Uh, and then we mostly just help the freshmen uh, learn like the different kinds of analyzing the courtship behaviors or just behaviors in general of fruit flies.
So you're kind of like a teacher.
Yes, in some part. And then
Okay.
it's actually pretty cool that the freshmen are able to actually get hands-on experience like the freshman year because we didn't have it because of COVID. It was online, so we weren't able to do anything hands-on.
I see.
Mm-hmm.
So we're gonna move on to kind of like the politics section of this thing.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
So anything you're not comfortable answering, just let me know. So how do you believe politics affected how COVID has been handled?
Oh, yeah, but because of how like controversial vaccines already were, it's just like the politics just made the response of the U.S. as a whole like really bad. At first, it was like all right. It still could have been a lot better, but the political division reduced like the effectiveness of the policy to prevent COVID, in my opinion.
And then how did you feel about mask mandates being lifted up early?
I saw that like I was like disappointed because like they prefer I saw it as like the government wanting to improve the economy a lot more than focusing on like its constituents, its people. So like because there are a lot of people were complaining about the mask mandate, so they were like, we'll just lift it up, and yeah, that's how I feel. I feel like it should have gone on longer.
And then there was a lot of protest movements during COVID. How did you feel about the Black Lives Matter protests?
Yeah, so I supported the Black Lives Matter protest. It was yeah, there's a lot of racial injustice within the police system, and I feel like it should be handled a lot better. A lot of the cases are like the police investigating themselves, which isn't good, which isn't effective. They just try to make themselves look good. It should be like an outside source investigating the police. And so I just feel a lot more should be done to improve it on that.
And then how did you feel about the job losses in our community?
Yeah, that was like probably like a tough, really important thing, obviously. My dad lost, well, he didn't lose his job. He just, he was a truck driver. And so he decided not to do it just like so that he could like be safe because he is compromised. So he decided not to continue with doing truck driving. And so, and that was like what he's done for like a lot of the time. So he was really like depressed for a little bit. But now he's found a job as an electrician. So that's like great. But yeah, it's, the job losses the COVID caused, so it's like it's really tough for a lot of people. So I think now things are starting to get better in terms of like jobs. So hopefully people that have lost their jobs are able to get their jobs once again.
And did COVID affect your mom's job as well?
No, thankfully it didn't. My mom works at as a supervisor for an immigrant shelter. So if anything, we just became even more nervous about making sure we didn't contract COVID because of that. But for the most part, my mom's job, I handled it well. There were a couple of layoffs at her job, but she wasn't affected by it.
Okay. And how do you feel about the term essential worker?
I mean, I'm not sure what to say. Like they are workers that are like needed to keep things going. So, like doctors, especially like I wish they would have earned more recognition for like in their bravery, I guess, for continuing like doing them. I know a lot of nurses like quit because of like the conditions, and I understand that. But yeah, I feel like they should like deserve to be recognized a bit more.
And how do you feel, or I'm sorry, how do you think COVID impacted the Latino community?
Not sure, to be honest. I'd say like I feel like the Hispanic community tends to think like I feel, I don't know. I'm so sorry, I cannot think of anything right now.
So the Latino community did have higher cases compared
yes,
to like
that's
the rest of the
right.
world. How did you feel about that?
Yeah, so that like added on to like the like being nervous of like the worry, the being increased worry. Oh my god, I cannot form sentences. It definitely like made me feel a lot more worried about my family and myself and like our health, on like making sure like that we did our best to not contract it.
And how do you, let me see actually. Oh, that seems to be the end of our interview. Do you have anything else to add?
Oh, no, I don't believe so.
Alrighty, well, Mr. Zander, thank you so much for doing this interview with me.
Glad to be here.
Okay, thank you. Have a good day.
You too.